Hey guys, Dr. Stephen from the Practice Accelerator. I'm super excited to be bringing you this part of what is our learning to gaining more clients, more new patients via online marketing, specifically through Facebook and other mediums that work right now. So I want to delve into the purpose of what we are achieving here. We are definitely wanting to break away from any of these types of manipulations or any types of effort that we've put into things that are unsuccessful in the past. As you can see, the picture over there explains a person who's got strings. So basically, there are certain things that we have in the past experienced that are pulling us, that pull us towards either being successful or unsuccessful. So we get stuck in doing these things over and over again that just don't achieve a successful result. And we've learned them somewhere. So I'm going to clarify that today. We're building here a very solid foundation so that when we do learn a lot of these things, that we minimize the upsets and we minimize any potential issues down the track. So we're creating an ideal marketing program for your practice. So here we go, guys. Success is only measured by our successful actions and the things that we do. And it's one of the most confused things about a business is that we try and compare things to other people, or we try and compare to other people that have had success in different areas. The only person that we can compare to is ourselves. So what we are wanting to do here is create a successful stream of new clients through the door and a successful increase in your business's performance via your successful actions, reproducing those, and finding out what the unsuccessful ones are and going from there. So my ultimate goal here is for you to grow and prosper, right? Now, I want you to imagine, this is a plant growing in the desert. So the ideal scene for us, or the ideal goal for us here, is to create a practice that can grow no matter what the economics, no matter what the politics, whether you're Donald Trump or whoever is in power in your country. We want to make sure that no matter what's happening around you, whether there's things happening in your relationship, things happening in your life, someone's dying, someone's died, things like that, that no matter what, you're able to still prosper through those times. And that's all about building this solid foundation in understanding, and also that solid foundation in our business and in our life. So you can see here that picture represents basically a plant growing out of something that's completely dry. And as we know, we need water, we need certain things to enable us to be strong and to grow. And that's all about foundations. There are certain, believe it or not, there are certain foundations in a marketing program and in a business that are going to enable consistent growth outcome into the future. Right? So what we're hoping to achieve is an ideal scene. Now, what I want to explain to you is this story again about the house that's still standing. So basically this was a hurricane. It was a category 4 or 5 hurricane, and it was called Hurricane Ike. And if you can see the road, it basically along that road there was a whole lot of houses. And this was the only house that was left standing, right? No, it's not the last man standing type thing. It's that literally we want to create a situation where you are strong enough to withstand anything. So basically what happened here is that the media took hold of this, and there's so many pictures online. You can look up Hurricane Ike and find this. But there was the media were basically, talking about how this must have been divine intervention, and how it was a massive, massive deal. They wanted to find out how this happened. They even interviewed the house owner. And there was an interview with the owner of the house, and they basically asked him, why do you think that your house is still standing? Do you think that it's some sort of intervention from God? And he kind of looked at them confusingly and said, I just built it the way it's supposed to. I built it to withstand a hurricane, a category 4 or 5 hurricane. So that's what I am hoping to achieve with you guys, and that's what we're going to be achieving, is building an ideal scene for your practice, an ideal scene for your marketing program. It means no matter what happens, that you've got a consistent stream of new clients coming through the door. Okay, So our goal is for you to flourish and prosper no matter what hurricane, no matter what sort of event is going on. You're going to be able to create another marketing program in the future over and over again, something that's reproducible, that's going to be able to consistently bring in a steady stream of new patients. So I want to share with you this idea. It's called what I call a senior data. So it's something that can't be untold. It's kind of like an axiom. Kind of like if you cut yourself, your body heals it, right? So your body heals itself. We know that to be true as chiropractors. And sometimes we've learned other behaviours that we may believe is true. So I remember Dad having his shed, organised, very similar to this, where we had tools in the right place, things were colour coded, we had drop saws in the right position, so that if you worked, it wouldn't interfere with anything else. We had the grinder in the right position. Everything was where it was supposed to be. And I remember my dad getting so upset at me when I used to put tools just wherever willy-nilly. And he drilled it into me from when I was very young, how it's so important to have everything organised. Your papers organised. You have to have your tools organised. And I thought my dad was a little bit crazy, right? I thought he was so strict at the time. I thought, why are you telling me about how to organise the tools? What does it really matter? I leave the tool there for a little bit. Well, I only realised later how important this was when I entered, another family member's shed. And I remember the same family member coming over to our house and saying to Dad, Ken, why do you have, everything like, it's amazing how you have everything so, organised. I can find, you can see the spanners there and everything's just where it's supposed to be, and the cords are all, wrapped up in a fashion that's not going to destroy them in the future. Geez, I wish I had my shed like that. And Dad turned to him and said, really? Is there another way? So basically we have created and we've basically learnt certain types of behaviours. And there are definitely things that we do because everyone else does them. We do certain tasks, or we follow a certain coach, or we do certain things in our practice that we've learnt somewhere. It's kind of like if you're really clean and you've married someone who's not so clean. No matter what you do and how much you clean, that house is going to end up dirty until they gain the awareness on how to clean it and how it should look. Right? So guess what happened to that person in our family after they saw Dad's shed? Right? They started to organise themselves better. It's kind of like the story of the girl with the red dress, where he goes out and buys his daughter a new dress, and then he realises he has to buy the shoes for his daughter that match the dress. And then he starts to see things around his house that he starts to organise better, and the next door neighbour sees, and before long the whole town starts to change just from this one red dress. Right? So basically what I'm sharing with you guys is that we are here to create the ideal scene, and I'm going to show you the ideal scene of a marketing program that actually works and that's organised in a fashion that you're going to be able to, via stats, not emotion, go in and assess what's working, what's not, and continue successful actions and scale those ads from there. So I also want to dive into these two gentlemen. I want you guys to understand this concept really well, and it's something that we understand as chiropractors. However, sometimes we get a little lost. If you imagine we're on a journey from Melbourne to Sydney, and a kangaroo hits us, and we don't have our GPS on, and it's really dark. It's kind of hard without a compass to find where we are. So I really want you guys to understand the story of these two gentlemen, just to help you further understand the difference between cause and effect and in a marketing program, and that should help you with what's going on in your practice as well. So René Quinton and Louis Pasteur, they were both scientists, prolific scientists in the 1900s, and René Quinton's philosophy was more of a cause philosophy, more that you basically, if you build a solid foundation and you make sure that you've got all the rudiments and all the foundations into your body, and you make your body strong enough that you're able to withstand anything. So he dealt a lot and dived into seawater and helped people with seawater plasma, injecting them and helping their bodies to get stronger with the elements. and stop diseases like that. He managed to help a lot of people through his type of philosophy. And it's more of a philosophy of we are basically, untouchable, or what I call unfuckable, really, is that once we're strong enough, we're able to withstand anything. And this is the reason why, doctors, even though their philosophy is different, medical doctors, this is the reason why they don't get sick, even though they're in these tents surrounded by all sorts of sick people, is because our immune system needs to be strong enough to withstand anything. And it's the same in anything in life. If we build something that's got a strong foundation, just like the house before that I showed you, and you build something how it's supposed to be, the ideal scene, then you are able to withstand anything. And it's the same goes with the marketing program and the practice. Whereas Louis Pasteur believed that basically that you are unfuckable, that germs are the reason why we get sick. And the way I explain this is basically, if you imagine, there's a dead body and it's rotting away, or a dead animal, it's rotting away. And you come upon that dead animal and you find these maggots that are coming out of the dead animal or the dead body. And you think, maggots, that must be the reason why they died, right? That's the same basic thinking. So this is how they created modern medicine, is to just attack symptoms. Attack the cracks in the wall, not the foundation of the building, to correct the problem. Now, as we know as chiropractors, our philosophy is more akin to René Quinton. We want to make sure that the foundations are right and that we're building a solid foundation to ensure that we get the best possible result in the future. So diving into the body, it's virtually touchable versus untouchable. The same goes in a marketing program, guys. So you can create programs that are touchable. If you're creating them external to you, you don't exactly know how it's all happening. You need to have an awareness on these things. So all of our marketing programs are geared towards making our patients more aware of chiropractic. So there's no other option except to check it out, right? Making it so that it's accessible to them at any condition, whatever condition they're in. So understanding how we can offer the free learnings and free content. Understanding how we can, decrease our initial costings so that people can at least get in the door and get some sort of understanding of chiropractic and even get some treatment. So that's what we want to create, is an untouchable situation, an ideal situation where we've got a constant flow of people coming in because things are free and there's no friction points at the start, and that enables that consistent roll of new clients through the door that can enable you to steadily grow as you see the holes in your bucket and fill those things up, right? So that's how that relates from ourselves, our body, to our practice. So understanding what's happened in the past. Basically, slowly we've been manipulated by certain systems. A system of schooling that creates a 9-to-5 mindset, or a mindset that if we work for time, and the more hours you spend on something, the more value it's got. These types of things are just not true. And I can explain to you the story of the guy that drives a Ferrari, and he goes out to the country and the Ferrari starts making all sorts of weird noises, and it's a $500,000 car. And he takes it to the local mechanic. The local mechanic, he spends 10 hours with the Ferrari, 2 days, and he says, "Oh, I think I found it," and you drive off and it's still making that same noise. Pretty worried. You then take it into Ferrari down in the city and they plug it in, and within 5 minutes that noise is gone. Which one would you rather? So it's got to be results based. But what happens over time is that we've been manipulated to believe that this is the way it's supposed to be. I want to tell you a story about this. There was a test that they did, or a research article that I read about how they took this lady and they wanted to assess her behavioural patterns and what was happening, like her human behaviour. So basically they had a house where they put the trash can in the backyard, and they put it on the left-hand side of the backyard, the far left. And slowly, each day they moved that trash can 1 inch, right? And within a few months, they were able to get the trash can to the other side. So these manipulations basically have happened slowly over the period of our life, where we've perceived, failures in ourselves, and we've perceived, things that maybe seem like we aren't as worthy as what we could be. It's kind of like when people, and this is what I tell my patients, it's like, well, but how did my spine get in this situation? Well, it's kind of like plaque that builds up on your teeth. You're brushing your teeth and you're doing the things that you know of that are helping you, but plaque builds up subtly over time. Like subluxation builds up subtly over time, and it's not until you get it clean at the dentist that you realise that the brushing of the teeth wasn't doing so well. Gums don't bleed overnight. It's a process that builds up. Your heart doesn't just have a heart attack, or cancer doesn't just occur. It builds up slowly over time. And the same thing has happened in our lives, in our businesses, and in different areas. Look at relationships. We find ourselves in these situations where, basically we've created a game with each other, whether it's our friends or whether it's our partner, of scoring goals against each other. See, I told you so. All this type of crap. We need to cut it out. It's basically all that happens when you're playing a game with someone is one person scores. What happens to the other person? They lose, right? Now, to grow together, we need to be on the same team, right? That means we need to help each other to grow together. So there's no point in taking shots at each other. But these things have been learned. And it's an unsuccessful action that only leads to us being held at a certain level. And until we can realise that, hey, how can I help you? Reaching out to the partner, reaching out to the people in our community and seeing whether or not or what we can do to help. And this is the reason why surveying people in the practice or what it is they truly want and need is an absolute must. It's different in an area, in a country area, it's different in Australia compared to the States. You need to know exactly what your clients want so that you can deliver them the education and the know-how, right? So moving into groups, this happens in groups as well. You have groups of people that, are only, like a pain-based group of people in chiropractic, or, they only are into one technique, so then they can't possibly have any type of different, philosophy, or you have, groups of people in certain areas that only do certain things. This just then resonates, kind of like the story before about the girl in the red dress. You have people doing the same thing. Now, it might not be successful, but people just don't look at that stuff because, hey, that's just the way it is. That's just the way we do things. Or, Johnny told me that we're not allowed to do that. The board don't let us do that. Or, this is all out of crap that just keeps everyone down. And in our profession, we've seen a lot of stuff, people talking about, hey, you can't advertise like this, or you can't do this. And the reality is, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, reality. All right? So here we go. It happens in society. You can see the puppeteer. You can see it happens, from governments all the way down. We've seen in Australia and in the United States, mandatory vaccinations and things like that. And they try to stop you from not vaccinating, or they try to, make you vaccinate with certain emotional stories, or by not giving you payments, and all types of things. And that's all created by a system. And that's all a part of a certain manipulation. Now, why would you want to control someone's, ability to choose, right? It's manipulation. So you really always have a power of choice in life, and you should always have a power of choice. And if you feel like you don't, you need to take a look at that. Stop and take a look. So how does it happen in our profession? We have people that want to knock on other people for doing certain types of techniques. We have people that knock on other people because they want to prescribe drugs or not prescribe drugs. They want to do have certain philosophies. Look, at the end of the day, our profession was created on the 33 principles of chiropractic. And so we don't know them. We should take a look. And it was created around the word subluxation, which means a decrease in light or nerve interference. So these are the things that we need to know about. And what I've seen in marketing is people holding themselves back by not creating free content, not having free workshops, and not having an ability for someone to come in and learn from you to elevate their awareness. Now, if you imagine, they basically make petrol from crude oil. So I want you to imagine like a tower, and at the bottom you've got the oil here. Okay. Now, at any time, you've got petrol and then you've got gas, right? So imagine the gas is the people that are just ready to rock and roll. They're like the ripe fruit, ready to pick, right? So that's about the 5–10%. So no matter what you put out there, they're going to come in. But then you've got the other 80–90% that are like crude oil, right? So you need to create programs to elevate their awareness and at their level. So the crude oil is basically in a criminal exchange where they want stuff for free. So what is it that you can give them? Give them information and lead them into the practice so that they can come in and experience the word of chiropractic and understand what it is that you do, your product, your specific product, whether it's spinal decompression or whatever it is that you do in chiropractic, it doesn't matter as long as you're treating that person and elevating them towards the causes of their problem rather than just treating their symptoms, right? So our goal is to create this ideal marketing program. Just like the house, we want to make sure that no matter what hurricane, no matter what blows through your life, that you're able to withstand the pressure, okay? So understanding if there's an effort in emotion, no, can't be right. Take a look, stop and take a look and look with stats, and that's going to let you know how to lead, or that's going to let you know where to lead yourself to getting more high quality new patients. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. I've got some questions for you to answer on this. In the next video, we're going to be going through some practical stuff. So I'm going to be sharing with you how we come up with an offer, any sort of legalities and different things that you need to watch out for. Because remember, we're building an ideal marketing program. So I look forward to your answers, and we'll see you soon. Have a good day.